So considering all she does, it's never too early to start planning for Mother's Day. So I'm going to teach you fathers, sons, and daughters out there how to say thanks to Mom and make a wonderful breakfast frittata this Mother's Day. So let's begin. Okay, so the first thing that we want to do is we want to get our eggs together. We need 6 whole eggs, so I have 5 here in the bowl already. So I'm just going to add this one last one in there. And then we're going to do 2 egg whites. So what we want to do is separate that on the side. So open the egg up. You can also do this in your hand if it's easier. Just go back and forth with the yolk into each side of the shell, and the white will drip down. Now we want to mix our eggs. We want to aerate them as much as possible. We want to make sure that all the yolks are completely broken up and that the color is consistent through the mix. Now we want to prep our mushrooms. Now we have a pound of portobello mushrooms that we're going to add to the frittata. Use a standard kitchen knife is the best way to clean the gills out of the inside of this. So you definitely want to take these out or they'll discolor the omelet. And then I like to just take the portobello, cut it in half, and then cut like 1/4-inch slices. Okay, and we'll add that to that. And now we have our sweet onion. So this is total of 1 medium onion. So peel the outer layers and then just come from the side. And again, kind of a 1/4-inch thickness. And then you want to go through and just kind of break up your onions. We're going to sear the mushrooms in brown butter and a little bit of garlic. So you want to chop your garlic. Now these are already peeled. It's helpful to kind of smash it down just for speed purposes. And then go through. You just want a nice fine dice. We're going to be sauteing a lot of mushrooms in batches, so just want to make sure that it gets good coverage through the mushrooms. Okay, we'll set that there. And then we have some goat cheese. This is 8 ounces of goat cheese, and we have that to add to our frittata later. And then the last thing is just to chop a little bit of parsley. So here's the final consistency right here. And this Italian parsley, you just want to take the leaves. And it's 3 tablespoons total, so we'll just quickly chop up a little. You kind of want to put it into a nice little package so it's under control. And then again, like the garlic, just run your knife back and forth through it like so. All right, so now we have all of our ingredients prepped, and we're ready to go to the stove and start cooking our frittata. Okay, now we're going to take all of our prepped ingredients and put this frittata together. We're going to use a 10-inch non-stick pan. It is probably your best option. A little bit of butter. On this first one, we're going to cook the mushrooms in batches. So get it a little bit brown there, and then we're going to add these portobellos quickly to the pan. So you just lay them out kind of single layer in the pan there, and you want to be patient for, say 30 seconds or so. Let the moisture start to draw out of the mushrooms. Once they get brown, we're going to toss them in the pan, and we're going to add a little bit of our garlic and finish them with salt, some fresh ground pepper, and parsley. So you can see that nice brown sear on there. Add a little bit of the garlic. Toss again, let that garlic cook. Definitely don't want to burn the garlic though. You'll end up with a sort of a bitter quality in the frittata. Okay, so now we're just going to season those with a little salt, fresh ground pepper. Toss one more time. Add a little bit of parsley. And there we go. Now the mushrooms are set. So the next step is to take another tablespoon of butter and add our onions to the pan. It's getting kind of hot there, so get those onions in quick. Turn our heat back down to a slow simmer. So just wilt the onions, get them nice and tender. we're getting to that point. The onions are getting nice and tender. We're going to go ahead, we're going to add these mushrooms back to the pan, like so. And then again, we'll kind of mix that. Get it nice and evenly distributed in there. And then we are going to place our goat cheese in there. So just kind of scatter the goat cheese evenly around, making sure that there's a little bit in every bite. And now we want to take our eggs and just pour around the edge in a circle, filling that up like so. Okay, I'm going to immediately turn this down just a touch because you really want a low simmer. It's going to cook for about 10 minutes and covered, you want to let it set. You can already see it setting the edge around here. And then we'll keep it on low, we'll cover the dish, and it'll come in probably about 2 inches. And then what you want to do is you want to finish it under the broiler or finish it in the oven so it browns up really nice on top. So you can just take your spatula, just go around and make sure that that edge is setting. Okay, so now we're going to grab our cover, we're going to cover that, let it go for about 10 minutes, and then we're going to finish it in the oven. While your frittata is cooking in the oven, what you're going to do is prepare a very simple sauce to accompany the frittata, and really more or less it's just a tomato puree that's been seasoned simply with some kosher salt. What you want to do is you want to take your tomato and make an X incision right on the bottom, and then you want to core out the top. And prior to this, you want to get a little pot of boiling water on the stove. And then you're going to drop this into the water, having this ice bath already prepared prior to dropping it in the hot water. And then you want to have it in the boiling water for 15 seconds. And you can always test it to see if the skin is coming off the tomato, but you want to make sure not to cook it for too long. This is a fresh tomato puree. So you're going to put it in the ice bath. And then you're just going to simply take the skin off the tomato. So get the skins off there like so, and then just cut it in half along the wide section here, easiest to access the seeds. So just de-seed this other half as well, and then quarter that. And what you want to do is you want to put this in a blender, and you want to puree it until it's nice and smooth, just like this. Take it out of the blender and season it simply with just a little bit of kosher salt. We'll add a little extra virgin olive oil later. It'll be just perfect. So we'll go ahead and check on the frittata now, see how that's going. Okay, so take our cover off. As you can see, it's coming about 2 inches around the outside. So then we just want to take, and we're going to put a little bit of Parmesan on there, just a touch. And finish it with a little chopped parsley on there. There we go. Last little step. Now we're going to go ahead and throw it in the oven. For about 4 to 5 more minutes of cooking time. Then we'll get it out, cut it up, go have some brunch. Okay, now we've got our frittata out of the oven and still sitting here in the pan. We want to let it rest for a little while, kind of firm up a little bit. And so while that's just resting there for a second, we'll take our sauce and just ladle some on the plate like so. Just kind of get it out there. Almost like you're making a pizza. Now we'll take the frittata, get underneath it, and shake it out onto our board. Voila. My suggestion is that you cut it with a bread knife. It's very delicate, and if you want perfect slices, you kind of want to just go really slowly back and forth to get a nice smooth cut, especially if it's still nice and warm. So we'll just start, we'll cut it in half, put it to the side. How's that? You see the portobellos and the goat cheese and everything in there? Looks nice and tasty. Okay, And turn that around. So that's a pretty good, kind of an average size for a piece of quiche. We'll go ahead and start, and we'll just place one right there in the center of the plate. And then we're going to garnish with a little bit of greens. It's nice to have some fresh greens in there as well. Nice, rich egg dish. This is frisée, one of my personal favorites. I dress it really simply with just a little olive oil and lemon, salt and pepper. You could choose some arugula, would be another great choice, or just some small mixed lettuces. It's just nice to cut the flavor of it. So just a little bit of olive oil on there. And a little bit of salt. Squeeze some lemon. Just so it's got some flavor. And then we'll just mix that. And just place a nice topping. Right there, not too much. There we go. And now another thing I did was I reserved a little bit of the mushrooms that went in. So it kind of tells you what's inside. So we'll just place those on the side. And then the last thing is we want to take our extra virgin olive oil and finish our sauce and add a little bit of drama to the plate. And there we go. Happy Mother's Day, Mom. I love you.